Have you ever done everything right, ate your fruits, drank your water, stayed active yet still felt your body slowing down, your energy fading, and your lab results quietly creeping in the wrong direction? You tell yourself it's just age, but what if it isn't? What if the very fruits you thought were healing your body are silently destroying one of your most vital organs, your kidneys? Every single day I meet people who say, "But doctor, I eat clean. I never touch junk food," and yet their creatinine keeps climbing. Their blood pressure rises, their legs swell. What's happening isn't bad luck, it's biology. Because hidden inside many healthy fruits are minerals and sugars that can quietly overload your kidneys until half of your natural filtration power is already gone, and you won't feel a single symptom until it's too late. That's the terrifying truth. Millions of Americans walk around with declining kidney function and have no idea. Their lab numbers might look only a little off, but underneath their nephrons, the microscopic filters that keep them alive, are dying one by one. By the time creatinine rises, the damage is already irreversible, and no one ever warned them. But here's the part that gives me hope. Nature didn't leave us defenseless. It gave us certain fruits, 4 of them to be exact, that can do the opposite. They don't overload your kidneys. They help heal them. They can lower creatinine, naturally calm inflammation, and even help your remaining nephrons recover their strength if you use them the right way in the right rhythm. My name is Dr. Mark Ellis. I've spent over 2 decades studying how nutrition can reverse early kidney damage without drugs or dialysis. And today I'm going to reveal the truth. Most doctors never mention the 4 scientifically proven fruits that protect your kidneys and the ones that might be silently destroying them. So before you reach for that next healthy banana or glass of orange juice, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how to stop the silent decline and start rebuilding your kidney power one bite at a time. Most people think kidney failure strikes out of nowhere. One day your blood test looks fine. The next your doctor says your creatinine is high. But the truth is far more subtle and far more dangerous. Kidney damage rarely screams. It whispers. It builds quietly, meal after meal, year after year, until the day that little number on your lab report finally crosses the red line. Picture your kidneys like 2 tireless coffee filters. Every second, blood flows through them, carrying toxins, minerals, and waste. When they're new, the flow is smooth and effortless, clear water and clean water out. But over time, with too much sodium, too much sugar, and too many healthy foods, your body can no longer process. Those microscopic filters start to clog. And that residue you see in your blood test, that's creatinine, the smoke signal of an internal fire that's been burning for years. I once treated a man named Robert, 58 years old, retired firefighter, strong as steel. He came to me because his legs had started to swell. Nothing alarming, just a bit of water, he said. His blood work showed a creatinine of 1.8, a number most doctors would call borderline. But when we looked deeper, half of his kidney function was already gone. Half. He felt fine, went to the gym, ate fruit every morning, but inside his filters were dying one by one. And no one told him what that number really meant. Here's the part most people never hear. By the time creatinine begins to rise, you've already lost around 40–50% of your filtering power. That's not my opinion, that's straight from data published by the National Kidney Foundation. Right now, more than 37 million Americans are living with chronic kidney disease, and 9 out of 10 don't even know it. They walk, work, laugh, and sleep through the slowest health emergency imaginable, a quiet drowning from the inside out. Your body tries to warn you, fatigue that won't go away, puffy eyes in the morning, swelling ankles at night. But because the kidneys have no pain nerves, you never feel the crisis until it's too late. That's why creatinine isn't just a lab number. It's a message, a plea for help. It's your body saying, I'm overloaded. Ease the burden. If you've ever looked at your test results and told yourself, it's just a little high, please don't ignore it. Early awareness is your one chance to turn the tide before dialysis becomes the only option. Because the moment you understand what creatinine really means, you can begin to reverse the damage, not with more medication, but with smarter nutrition and precise daily habits. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another danger most people never suspect hiding in plain sight inside the very fruits they eat every morning. And that's where the story takes a shocking turn. Now that you understand what creatinine really means, here's the twist most people never see coming. The danger isn't always junk food or fast food. Sometimes it's hiding behind the word healthy. Every week in my clinic, I meet people who proudly tell me, "Doctor, I don't eat processed food. I eat fruit every morning, and they mean it. Bananas, oranges, melons, smoothies, the kind of breakfast Instagram calls clean. But when we check their blood work, their potassium is through the roof, and their creatinine keeps climbing. Let me tell you about Lisa, a 62-year-old teacher who came to me with swollen feet and constant fatigue. She thought she was doing everything right. Each morning, she blended 2 bananas, a glass of orange juice, and a handful of cantaloupe. Pure vitamins, right? Except that single healthy meal gave her more than 1,000 milligrams of potassium in one shot, twice what her weakened kidneys could safely handle. Her body couldn't filter it fast enough, and that invisible overload began short-circuiting her heart rhythm. One day she fainted in class. It wasn't her heart that failed, it was her kidneys begging for mercy. Here's what most people don't realize: when your kidneys weaken, potassium becomes a silent killer. What once kept your heart strong can now make it stop. Studies in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology show that even a single high-potassium meal can trigger dangerous arrhythmias in people with chronic kidney disease within hours. And it's not just potassium. Phosphorus, found in many tropical fruits, encourages calcium to harden your arteries, while excess fructose from fruit sugar fuels inflammation and oxidative stress inside kidney tissue. In one long-term study published in Diabetes Care, patients with kidney disease who consumed high-sugar fruits daily lost kidney filtration, functioned 28% faster than those who stuck to low-sugar options. Think about that. Doing the right thing made them decline nearly 1/3 faster. The problem wasn't their discipline, it was misinformation. You see, the food industry loves calling fruit nature's candy, but when your kidneys are already struggling, that candy becomes chemical chaos. The sugars, the minerals, the acids, they pile up like traffic in a city with no exits. Your kidneys are the traffic cops, and when they're overwhelmed, everything slows, swells, and breaks down. That's why so many people living with mild kidney issues suddenly crash into full-blown stage 4 without warning. So before you reach for another banana or pour that glass of orange juice, pause and ask yourself, are my kidneys strong enough to handle it? If you've ever had a doctor mention high potassium swelling or fatigue after fruit-heavy meals, this is your wake-up call. Because not all fruits are villains. In fact, some are powerful healers, ones that lower creatinine, reduce inflammation, and give your kidneys a chance to breathe again. And that's where hope returns. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another factor most people never consider: certain fruits that don't just avoid harm, but actually trigger your kidneys' self-healing response. So if some fruits can quietly damage your kidneys, does that mean you have to give them all up? Thankfully, no, because the same garden that hides danger also hides the cure. Nature, in its perfect balance, created certain fruits that do the opposite of harm. They nourish your kidneys, calm inflammation, and lower creatinine without a single pill. And the first one is sitting right in your kitchen right now: the humble apple. Apples don't scream for attention, but inside their skin lives one of the most powerful kidney protectors known to science. Each bite delivers pectin, a soluble fiber that acts like a magnet for phosphorus and toxins, carrying them out through your gut instead of forcing your kidneys to do the work. In one study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases, participants who increased their fruit fiber intake by just 25 grams per day improved phosphorus balance by 23%. Think about that: a simple apple doing what medication struggles to do. And there's more. The skin of an apple is packed with quercetin and chlorogenic acid, 2 antioxidants proven to suppress the inflammatory signals that scar kidney tissue. Research in free radical biology and medicine found that apple polyphenols lowered those markers by up to 35%. Peel the apple, and you lose most of that power. Eat it whole, and you give your kidneys a microscopic army of defenders. I remember a patient named Thomas, 67, whose creatinine hovered at 1.9 for years. He was afraid dialysis was next. We added 1 apple with the peel every single day, that's it. 3 months later, his level dropped to 1.6. Same diet, same medication, new consistency. He looked at me and said, "Doctor, something this simple can't be this powerful." But it was, because healing rarely looks dramatic. It looks consistent. Now, if apples are the steady guardians, blueberries are the silent warriors. Tiny, dark, and potent, they carry anthocyanins, pigments that act like bodyguards for your nephrons. In the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, researchers found that regular blueberry intake reduced kidney-damaging cytokines by 47% in just weeks. Even better, blueberries are extremely low in potassium, only 57 milligrams per half cup, making them safe even in advanced kidney disease. Let me tell you about Susan, one of my favorite success stories. She loved her morning smoothies, but her creatinine kept climbing. Instead of cutting fruit altogether, we replaced her bananas with half a cup of blueberries 4 times a week. 6 months later, her kidney function had stabilized. No magic, no pills, just the right swap. Then come the jewels of healing red and purple grapes. Their skins hold resveratrol, the compound that made red wine famous for heart health. But in your kidneys, resveratrol activates a special family of repair proteins called sirtuins, especially SIRT1, the genes that tell your cells to fix DNA damage and calm inflammation. In a Kidney International study, people who consumed resveratrol equal to a handful of grapes improved filtration function by 22% in 6 months. Darker grapes mean higher protection, so remember, the deeper the color, the stronger the defense. And finally, the golden surprise pineapple. Most people see it as a tropical treat, but it's actually a renal ally. Pineapple is low in potassium and rich in bromelain, an enzyme that breaks down inflammatory debris inside kidney tissue. Research in Biotechnology Research International showed bromelain reduced inflammatory markers by 42% while improving overall kidney performance. Plus, it's a gentle, natural diuretic, helping you flush toxins without stressing your kidneys. Just make sure it's fresh. Canning destroys the enzyme you need most. So here's how you turn knowledge into results. Rotate them. Apples on Mondays and Thursdays, blueberries on Tuesdays and Fridays, red grapes midweek, and pineapple on the weekend. This rhythm gives your body a steady stream of antioxidants, fibers, and enzymes nourishment without overload. It's not a diet, it's a healing rhythm. And if you're thinking, doctor, can something this simple really make a difference? Ask the patients who have tried it. They'll tell you their swelling faded, their energy returned, and their fear of dialysis finally eased. Because sometimes medicine doesn't come from a lab, it comes from a bowl of fruit prepared with intention. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another factor that decides whether these healing fruits actually work, how you combine and sustain them inside a complete kidney-safe lifestyle. Now that you know which fruits can heal and protect your kidneys, the next question is simple but critical. How do you make it last? Because healing doesn't come from a single snack. It comes from rhythm, from daily repetition that lets your body remember how to repair itself. You can't just eat healthy once in a while and expect miracles. You have to create consistency so your kidneys no longer live in chaos, but in calm balance. That's why I teach my patients something I call the kidney rhythm rotation, a weekly cycle that feeds your body exactly what it needs without overwhelming it. Mondays and Thursdays belong to apples, your gentle filters. Tuesdays and Fridays are for blueberries, the silent repair crew. Wednesdays, you bring in the red or purple grapes, the DNA healing warriors. And on weekends, pineapple steps in to cool inflammation and flush waste. This isn't random, it's biochemistry timed with intention. Each fruit supports a different cellular pathway, so by rotating them, you're giving your kidneys a full orchestra of antioxidants and enzymes playing in harmony. Let me share a story. Mark, a retired engineer in his 70s, came to me terrified of dialysis. His creatinine sat stubbornly at 1.9 for months. We didn't change everything at once. We just built the rhythm. 2 months later, his swelling was gone, his sleep improved, and his labs showed a steady decline in creatinine. When I asked what changed, he smiled and said, "For the first time in years, I feel like my body and I are on the same team." That's the power of rhythm. It turns effort into instinct. Science backs it up. Studies from the National Kidney Foundation show that patients who maintain consistent antioxidant intake rather than occasional bursts reduce inflammatory markers by nearly 40% and slow disease progression by up to 30%. It's not about perfection, it's about pattern. Small, steady actions are far more powerful than grand but short-lived ones. And lifestyle matters just as much as diet. Lower your sodium by about 1,000 milligrams a day. It's enough to ease your kidneys' workload by almost 20%. Keep your protein moderate, stay hydrated, but never overdo it, and protect your sleep like medicine. Because it is medicine. Each of these habits acts like a reset button, giving your kidneys a quiet night shift instead of an emergency shift. So as you plan your meals, think in terms of rhythm, not restriction. Prepare your fruits ahead of time. Wash the apples, portion the blueberries, chill the pineapple. These little acts of preparation are where most people fail, not because they don't care, but because life gets noisy. When you plan, you protect. When you're consistent, you heal. And here's the part, most people miss your kidneys. Don't just filter waste. They reflect your overall lifestyle. Every choice you make, every sip, every bite, every night of sleep either adds pressure or releases it. Once you start giving them the right rhythm, your body begins to thank you in ways you can feel lighter, mornings, clearer, mind, steadier energy. That's not coincidence, that's physiology responding to consistency. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because the final truth, the one that could mean the difference between lifelong freedom and dialysis, lies in how you sustain hope and discipline when motivation fades. If you've made it this far, it means you truly care about your health, and that already puts you ahead of most people. Because awareness is the first sign of healing. The fact that you're here learning how to protect your kidneys means you've already taken the first step toward change. And I want you to know something. Healing doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. Start small, add one apple with the peel, swap your banana for blueberries. Give your body a rhythm it can trust. Do it not out of fear, but out of respect for yourself, for the life your kidneys have quietly supported since the day you were born. And if this video opened your eyes or gave you even a little hope, save it right now so you can come back whenever you need a reminder. Because we both know that some days staying consistent is hard, and on those days, having this knowledge at your fingertips could keep you on track. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon, because every week I share the latest medical insights, simple food swaps, and natural science-backed ways to keep your kidneys strong for life. This channel is more than information, it's your support system. So if you're ready to protect your health, start here, start now. And finally, remember this. Your kidneys are not fragile, they're resilient. They've carried you through years of stress, poor sleep, and dehydration, and they're still fighting for you. Give them the chance to recover, and they will. Your body was designed to heal when you give it the right support. So keep learning, keep caring, and never stop believing that recovery is possible. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in your body, and take care of those kidneys, because they've been taking care of you all along.